Yeah, so today I'm bringing you another seafood recipe, which is the octopus recipe. Yes, so if you have an octopus around, sweetheart, you have to try this octopus sauce, octopus fried, and then you can enjoy it with my spaghetti jollof. Yes, so yes, my meals. This jollof recipe is for you. So octopus, actually, when you buy it fresh, this is how it is from the sea side. That's how it is. So usually it's better you let them dress it a bit for you there, because the inside and all those ones, Charlie and Kaka. So you need to let them do it for you so that you save your water and you save your hands a bit. So my mom at the seaside did it for me. She's a very caring lady. Okay, so you see fishes coming from the tummy. Yes, they eat fish, they eat small fishes, they eat a bit of shrimp. Yes, and I'll show you their mouth very soon. So you want to remove the thing that gives them structure and support. Then they move the inside, and that's the mouth right there. That's the mouth beautifully there. So once you take in the inside, you wash it thoroughly, and you need to turn it to be able to wash it properly. So usually the ones you see by the roadside, they're already selling. They would have already done this before they bring it. Yes, it's always good to have it done at the seaside. And over here, you're going to see something unique. So I always say you move the structure. When you pierce it down, the structure, what gives it structure in the, like the palette, they're going to come out. And yay, there's some black part inside. Yes, this one. One's the best. Charlie, your water is all going to be black, but doesn't mean your octopus is spoiled or is going to get bitter. No, you just need to wash it properly. Just that when the best, you're going to have it, you're going to use more water washing and rinsing it to get it clean again. And that's why most people would like it to be done at the seaside, because there's more water at the seaside. And then yes, you can use a fresh seawater to wash it. Then when you come home, you re-wash again. So it's about removing what gives it the structure first and foremost, which you just have to pierce it down to any surface, maybe to the floor or something, or it's your chopping board, to get it out. Then you move the inside, and this is how, when you're done, you need to also further wash. So this itself, to clean it, you need a lot of water. That's the honest truth. So you need to wash the inside well. Yeah, so this was done for me at the seaside where I bought the fish. Then I brought it home, and this is what happened there. So you'd want to proceed to remove the eyes, and there's a part, I think it's the teeth or something. Yes, so there are 3 lumps in there. You want to take off the eyes, and then what they use to, should I say, process their food, kind of. Yes, so you need to remove those ones from there. You don't want to be eating octopus eye. Then once you're done, you can turn it over. You'd want to move, should I say, the skin? Yes, those layers, you don't really need it. And that's what, when you cook, it colors it up. So if you're cooking octopus and realize the color changes because the skin and those ones are there, that rubbery something. And it's a bit hard to remove when it's fresh. So don't be too worried, especially the, should I say, the fin area or something. But this part where you see it's hard to remove, yes, that part is stubborn, so you can just leave it. When you pre-steam or when you cook it, you can easily remove it from there. But the middle part, make sure you take it off, because that's easier to remove. So you just have to create a hole or cut the top of it. You pass your hand through it, and you can easily peel it off. Yes, so you peel it off, and then you can put it. So personally, what I do sometimes is to just pack them. Once you're able to dress it nicely like this, you can put it in your Ziplocs and put it in your freezer. Then when you're ready to use, you just use it. So in the recipe for this one like this, that's how I kept it. Because not every day you can go to the seaside to go and buy fresh octopus. So when you buy, you can dress it nicely, put it in your fridge, use it for your stews and soups, and fry some as well for your yam chips and all those ones. So the eyes, they're a bit glary, but then this is how the eyes and those ones look like. And when it comes to the tentacles, Yes, you see, they have the small pores and things. Technically, you're supposed to take them off. You have to, when you're dressing it, you have to take them off because you're not really going to. It doesn't make it too attractive when it's there. And you don't really need it. Yeah, so you need to take it off. You just use your knife. So please don't use an extra a knife which is too sharp. Use one which is a little blunt because this is very slippery. That's the truth. So if you don't take care, you can cut your hand. So like I said, when I'm done, I put it in my Ziplocs and then I use. And for this recipe, I had the octopus. Then I used a bit of veggies because I did stew. And there's a pepper sauce, but this one is red pepper sauce. I'll teach you that very soon. I had some Maggi arum to spice things up. I had some rice and my gravy. I told you gravy is a must-have in your house. And because of spaghetti rice, I had some spaghetti, a bit of salt. And you can't do any sauce without corn flour. So to kick off, I started by steaming the octopus. What I did was, when I took it from the freezer, yes, I let it thaw a bit. You realize it wasn't even fully thawed. But then, octopus, the way it is, you can easily work with it. Yes, so you need to know how to even fold it. Fold it nicely, put it nicely in, so you can work on it. So for me, I like to take the tentacles. I like to separate the tentacles and those other parts from the main part, which is much heavier and easier to chew. That's the part I like to fry, because when you fry the tentacles, sometimes it's a bit scary when you're supposed to chew. Sometimes we have kids around, even some adults are afraid of it. So yeah, I like to shred it in the octopus sauce. And like I said, I need to cut everything in smaller bits. So you can just peel the sides off. It's not that tough. Once it even goes into a freezer, it's even easier to peel it. When it's fresh, it's also easy to peel it. So I just want to peel it and get the main middle part. And that's the part I'm going to cut and steam for frying. Yes, but then the other parts, I'm just going to use it for the sauce. So that's basically what you'd want to do. You can try to cut into the sizes you'd want and work with that. So at this juncture, you realize that the octopus, I'm done cutting. I added in my salt to taste. Then I covered it up, so it's going to come to a boil a bit. Yes, those who sell in the market usually they just do the salt and water, but I will steam at me in pan. So you need to add in your sauce. I set in my jollof alongside. So for the jollof, I just added in my gravy and I added in my cup of water. Yeah, so the gravy, the bowl I used half of it. The microwavable bowl, which is 500 ml. I took half of it, so this is 250 ml of gravy, and added in my cup of water to lighten it a bit. Of course, I'm going to add in my salt. I'm going to let it come to a boil. It's good to get your stock boiling before you add in your rice. Don't put your rice in when it is not yet boiling. You won't get very good results. So at this point, you realize it's boiling giddy giddy crab. So I added in my rice. There's a cup of rice. I added it in. Then I mixed it nicely for it to come together beautifully. Now for jollof, it's your sauce that makes a difference. And you realize I was putting my ladle in to check the water content. You just need to have a little bit of water above it. Now, the octopus, you realize that now the ice is all gone and it's forming nicely. I want to add in my pepper sauce in there, and then to give it that sort of taste. Yes, if you just do it with the salt and water, trust me, if you are new to it, if you're not used to it. Yes, so you need to add in some spice to give it a nice taste. I added in the pepper sauce because some days you're in a hurry, some days it's a quick fix to go. And you know the pepper sauce already has your pepper, onion, ginger, garlic, and your spices in there. That's why I used it. And I added a bit of the curry powder because that already has some natural ingredients as well. The spice aside the curry, the turmeric. So I added that a bit of it in. But you can just go ahead to just blend your efomwisa, esruwisa, rentian, pepper, ginger, garlic, onion, and then you add it in there as well. You can do that. That even gives you more taste to it. Yes, so once you're done, you're going to let it come to a boil. Yes, because you need to let it also soften and cook nicely. You realize the water is literally draining off. And this is the place where you need to lower your heat. So at this point, you need to lower your heat a bit for it to form beautifully. So I'm going to mix it for everything to come together. Yes, you need to mix it for everything to come together nicely. And jollof, yeah, the reality is you need to be stirring a bit. You need to stir so that every part of it will get cooked well. Every part will get the heat well. So for jollof, if you leave yourself, you go and you come back and you regret a bit. So at this point, my heat is lower. I'm just letting it to steam up a bit so that the water would go off more. Once the water is drained off a bit, you need to still mix it up. I told you jollof there, you need to be stirring. It's very necessary. Ghana jollof. Yes. So you realize that yes, the stock around it is draining off, but my rice was a bit tender. So I added in half cup of water. Yes, I added in half cup of water to it to soften things up a bit. Jollof dear, it's good to use less water at start and add in your water in bits later if it's too tough than to start with too much water. If you start with too much water, it's going to get mushy and there's less you can do about mushy rice. So once that is done, I want to add in my spaghetti. You add in your spaghetti to your jollof rice when it's about finishing cooking, because spaghetti takes about 5-10 minutes to finish cooking, and you want to mix it up very well so that every part would get the spaghetti. If you leave it at just one part to cook, it's going to cook, but it's going to form as a cluster at that section alone. So you'd want to make sure that your spaghetti, you incorporate it nicely so that every part of it would have it. And then when you're done, you put your clean napkin over it, and then you cover it up. You put it on your low heat. Make sure it's still on your low heat. And about 5-10 minutes, your jollof should start softening. Yes, so maximum 15 minutes, it should be done at this point. So when you're cooking jollof, the reality is you can cook jollof within 30 minutes or 40 minutes. It's very possible. Some days I even use 20 minutes. It's about making sure you have gravy available. It's making sure that you start with the right heat. You can start with high heat, mix, stir. And then once the water is going down, you lower the heat and you can cover it up so that the heat is maintained in there, because the heat that gets your rice cooked is the heat that's going to get your rice perfect. It's the heat that's going to let your rice yee one. And you're going to have the heat in there to cook it thoroughly. So you realize my rice was beautifully done. It was soft. It was great. It was a one fine. See that thing? It was very tasty as well. So I'm just going to cover it up here and put it somewhere because it's already done. Then I heated my oil for frying my octopus. Yes, because I just took it from the sauce, there's a bit of stock around it. Don't worry. But see, when you're frying octopus, please make sure you take a saucepan which has a lid, because octopus, a bit too rough, it can come on your face, it can come anywhere. So make sure when you're frying, wear protective clothing. Let me put it like that. Make sure that you distance yourself well. Make sure that you position yourself well. Make sure that you cover up a bit so that it doesn't come and then splash on your hand or something. So I'm going to mix my cornstarch. I had 1 tablespoon. I added 2 tablespoons of water in there to dilute it a bit. And you need to mix it well so that it smoothens. You don't want lumps in there. Cornstarch in any sauce recipe helps thicken the sauce. We have cornstarch and corn flour. Please, we use corn flour for our sauces. We don't use cornstarch. Yes, it's corn flour. So we're going to use the corn flour to thicken it up. And you see how beautifully it has gone. Right now it has come very thick. And because I use less water, it's thick. So I added in my vegetables. It depends on the vegetables you'd want to use. I added in some onion, some red bell pepper. Then I added in some carrots. I had some cucumber. But the cucumber I'm going to add the last, because cucumber and check na it changes you. Cucumber becomes very tender and watery very soon. So you don't want to overly cook it. But something like carrot, it takes time for it to soften. So the ones that are tougher, you start them off early. And this is how you do your beef sauce. This is how you do your chicken sauce. This is how you do all your sauces. You need to make sure that first and foremost, your meat is soft and tender, is cooked, your vegetables, your cornstarch. And I'm going to add in my soy sauce. You can use a dark soy sauce. I like to use the Maggi Arum because it's already spicy and tasty. So it's going to add in more spice kick to it. And I'd also say that if you are new to seafood, maybe you could fry your octopus before you use it for the sauce. Yes, you could fry your octopus and then just do a stir fry sauce with the octopus than this. Because if you're very new and if you're not used to eating seafood, and if you don't spice this well, if you don't get enough pepper and things in, if you're new, unless you're a lover of seafood. Yes, so that's one caution. I'd love you to try it, but then see everyone and how their taste and preference is. And I'm going to check on my octopus, the one I'm frying as well. I've not forgotten it. So yes, you want to fry and you want to be turning both sides so that each side will get cooked. You don't really need to overly cook this because it's already steamed already. If you cook it too much, it's going to come so tough, so tender. Yes, so you just need just a bit of heat around it to just get the outside a bit dry, and that's all, because there's no blood in there. That's a reality. So you don't need to overly cook. If you overly cook, Charlie, about 10 time, it's going to be very rubbery and very stretchy. Yes, and the trick to about cooking octopus is this kind of thing: squid, octopus, those ones. When you're steaming, I forgot to mention, but you just need to do it high heat constant, or you do it low heat constant. Don't do it midway, or it's going to get tough. So once I'm done, I just add in my cucumber. I told you that's the last thing that goes in for me because it's softer. So it starts with the harder or the tougher veggies, then you go on to the lighter ones. If I was going to add cabbage or anything, it was still going to be last because cabbage, cucumber, those ones, they are very tender, and they can draw a lot of water when they are overly cooked. So yeah, this is basically my octopus sauce, my spaghetti jollof rice, and yay, my fried octopus. And I'll have you to try it. So I serve this. Yeah, you can take this to work, you can eat it in the room, you can eat it in the house, you can do it for supper, you can do it for lunch. Please do well to try this recipe. Do well to spice things a bit and eat more seafood for your calcium and all the benefits.